Some guys prefer to clip it onto the seat belts. I know when I was racing, I used to just slide it down into my race suit and then just have two earphones that plug into it, straight into your earpiece, and then that's how the chief steward can communicate with you, whether just telling you where you're lining up, yellows. The chief steward will call yellows over the one-way, they call green. So it's a very, very important piece of kit. And it's also a good source of an excuse. If you don't want to listen, you can just say my batteries were dead.
Okay, we've got the Top Star Juniors here for the Collie Championship by KJB Fabrication as well. And, boy, haven't we got a great field of juniors out there tonight. There were 9 nominated. We've got 8 out on the racetrack right now, and we've got some great ones. Jai Pack there in car number 1, WA1, on his outside, car number 15 of Matthew Thompson, the son of Wayne Thompson, the grandson of Darryl Thompson, who raced Speedway for many years, won about 9 state titles. Car number 43, Georgia Davies, and the daughter of Josh Davies, our Vice President, on the outside of Georgia Davies. I can't make out that number. Can you make it
So
out?
the second row is Michaela Hinsey on the inside, and then Georgia Davies on the outside in the 43 machine. Then we've got Jackson Buzan.
Had an amazing win last night.
It was a ripper race. It was one of the race of the night, in my opinion, for Michaela.
Take him away, Josh.
As we get underway in our Top Star feature, it's Thompson and Jai Pack, your front row. Michaela Hinsey's missed a shift or something in the 64 machine. She's gone absolutely nowhere. So move through turn number 1. They're side by side, your top 2 with Tomo. Pulling the big moves on the outside to lead him into turn number 3 for the first time. Jai Pack slots in a second place. Then we go back to Georgia Davies and Michaela Hinsey. Rounding out your top 5 is another lady racer, and that of Olivia Ferraro. Then we go back to Jackson Buzan, Jasmine Kennedy, and Talia Bosley rounds out your field. So move through turn number 2 for the second time. 20 laps lay ahead of our Top Star Juniors. So run into turn number 3. Hinsey with the lunge on the inside of Davis going into turn number 3. They're side by side for 3rd and 4th, and Michaela Hinsey gets the job done. The Spencer Motors Mazda entry now moves up into position number 3. Relegates Georgia Davies back to 4th. Rounding out your top 5 is that of Olivia Ferraro. Then we go back to Jackson Buzan, Jasmine Kennedy, and Talia Bosley rounds out your field. But how about the 64? She is on an absolute charge. As I speak, she gets all out of shape, trying to catch up to the back of your state champion, Jai Pack. And now Georgia Davies says, oh, thank you. And she might be in with a shot as there's contact between Buzan and Ferraro. And Kennedy, nowhere to go, straight into the side. And we have ourselves a stoppage. But there was definite contact between Buzan and Ferraro going into turn number 1. And unfortunately, the 49 Lancer from Albany just left with nowhere to go. And it's torn the door card off the 25 car. But it's Thompson who will lead him away from Jai Pack. Michaela Hinsey and Georgia Davis. Those two have probably been my standouts throughout the weekend. The 2 lady racers going at some of the best that's ever done it in this state in junior sedan racing. Buzan and Bosley from Manjimup, our track crew, turn into a bit of WWE wrestling down there, trying to remove the door card off Olivia Ferraro's car. Bit of elbow grease.
Looks like the back end of it's been put on too hard. What we do need is Rob Townsend out there with the sledgehammer.
Well, we've got 4 blokes out there at the moment, and they're going to absolute town on the 25 car. A few more kicks.
Now, well, Josh, the interesting thing here is to let people know that losing a door panel like that is no issue. They can still continue to race. But if they lose the bonnet of the engine, then they have to pull off. It's a no-go.
Yeah, so the rule is in sedan racing, as long as the car rolled through scrutineering with the panel, it is okay if you lose it during the race. So obviously Ferraro, she rolled up to the track with all 4 panels on the car. She rolled through scrutineering. It's no issue. And obviously she's lost it now, but we have lost Jasmine Kennedy in the 49, which is a shame. She's come all the way from Albany to be here with us tonight. She wasn't with us last night, and it's a hard, rotten luck for Jasmine on how she's going to finish up her night. But it's Matthew Thompson, the beautifully presented Ivex Industries number 15 machine, to lead away from your state champion, Jai Pack. Michaela Hinsey in 3rd. Georgia Davis, Olivia Ferraro, Jackson Buzan, and Talia Bosley. And we're set to go for a restart. They've gone pretty early, as Hinsey once again struggling to get the 64 car to move away from the start line. So that's an almighty gap between your top 2 and the rest of the field, with Hinsey missing a shift once again in the 64 car as they race down the back straight. Jai Pack He wanted to be trying to make his presence felt early. Goes super deep into turn number 3 as Ferraro and Buzan once again go side by side. And Ferraro gets all untidy, all on a lonesome. And as we mentioned, there might be some more rear end damage to the back of the 25 machine. So they move through turn number 1 and 2. Still Wayne Thompson out in front from Jai Pack. Then we go back to Michaela Hinze and Georgia Davis. Jackson Buzan in the 199 rounds out your top 5. As Davis now looks to have a shot on the inside of Michaela Hinze as they come out of turn number 4. The two lady racers battling it out for the final step of the podium. Here comes Davis. She pokes the nose of the 43 car down the inside on the exit of turn number 2. Can't quite draw level that time around, but she will have another shot. Moving into turn number 3, and the 199 car is raging large as well. So we might have a 3-car go for the final step of the podium in the closing stages of this one. Mind you, the battle at the front's is far from over as well between Pack and Thompson, as once again Davis rages up on the inside of Hinze. This time Buzan moves to the outside of the 43 machine, swoops around the outside to move into 4th, tries to get the switchback. It's all crossed up. What a save from Buzan to try and get the switchback on the inside of Michaela Hinze. This is the 3rd in the Top Star feature, the Collie Cup, and Buzan is on an absolute charge.
Absolutely fantastic racing for the Miners out there as the, we're looking at Matthew Thompson. He's got a battle on because he's got to keep it clean with Jai Pack not far behind. But Michaela Hinze now under a lot of pressure from Jackson Buzan as they head on down through turns 1 and 2 again. Michaela Hinze's half-track high. Jackson Buzan down on the curb line. As they head on down the back straightaway, Michaela Hinze won't be easy car to pass. Now she goes wide again. Buzan comes down low, working his way up on the inside. Michaela Hinze will cut down to try and protect the gate there and maintains that 3rd spot, but only just as Jackson Buzan now goes for the outside run. Down the back straight, takes up 3rd place as we see to hit Talia Bosley on the infield in car 33. Gets it going again. But Matthew Thompson, Jai Pack out in front, back then to Jackson Buzan, Michaela Hinze, Georgie Davies in car number 43, and we go back then to Liv Ferraro in car number 25. Talia Bosley will be the last car running. Out of turn 4 and into the front straight away, it's Matthew Thompson, not too many laps left to run. Jai Pack, the state title holder, will he defend his title successfully down in Esperance? We don't know. But certainly Matthew Thompson is looking great for this year's title. Down the back straightaway, Jackson Buzan, his brother Brandon had nominated but had to withdraw, I think probably a car issue. Jackson Buzan out of turn 4 and into the front straight. Oh, Michaela Hinze, she's taken the concrete wall for a ride. She lost it big time coming out of 4, and that's allowed Georgia Davies up into 4th place now.
Yeah, she got very, very untidy, did young Michaela Hinze that last time around. She's throwing absolutely everything the 64 has got to throw as Buzan once again gets out of shape. So this is far from over in the final stages of the Top Star feature. Hinze already straight back on the back bumper of Davies. She dives it down the inside into turn number 1. Can't quite do it that time around. So the 2 lady racers going absolutely hammer and tongs for the tail end of the top 5. Still Tomo out in front. Only a couple of laps remain here in Collie Speedway from Jai Pack and Jackson Buzan. Then we go back to Georgia Davies and Michaela Hinze really throwing her older brother Seth's car around. So I know Seth is probably watching pretty eagerly to make sure his car doesn't get trashed by the end of this one. She goes right up towards the concrete wall again on the exit of turn number 2. So Hinze is really pushing the limits here in the Top Star A main. Then we go back to Olivia Ferraro and Talia Bosley, but it's all the IVIX Industries car number 15. He's pulled away from Jai Pack and he's able to hold that gap pretty solid, but then Jackson Buzan is well and truly catching up to your top 2. But he's running out of laps here at the Make Smoking History Collie Speedway. So your top 3, unless something drastic happens, you would have to imagine it's probably how they'll see the flag, but you never want to speak too early in these sorts of things. So they race down the back straight once again. Tomo still out in front from Jai Pack and Jackson Buzan. The passing flag comes out on Talia Bosley. There's 3 laps remaining for Matthew Thompson this time around, the Ivix Industries racing machine. But how about Buzan? He is right on the back bumper of Jaipak. We might have a late race charge in the driver of the Accord Panel and Paint entry as they race down the back straight into turn number 3. Can Jaipak hold on? Check out the body language of the 199 coming through turn number 3. Pack runs wide. Here comes Buzan, the Auto Panel and Paint entry, right on the back bumper. He gives him a touch going into turn number 1. Dives to the inside. Pack holds strong on the outside as they run down the back straight for the second and last time. Can Pack hold off a hard charging Jackson Buzan to the line? He once again runs wide. Buzan makes a mistake as they come past the white flag. There is one to go for Matthew Thompson. You'd have to imagine he's home and hose, but it's anyone's guess for second and third. Here comes Buzan again to the outside. Draws level down the back straight for the final time. He's in the concrete wall. He's in the wall big time. Jackson Buzan has thrown it away at the line. It will be Matthew Thompson who wins it from Jaipak. Jackson Buzan threw everything he had, and he might also he will just hold on to third from Georgia Davis and Michaela Hinsey. It all exploded at the end of that one. Jackson Buzan throwing everything he had. He got in the concrete wall. He broke the right front out of it, and unfortunately that's all she wrote. But you got to give it to Matthew Thompson. That was an absolute flawless drive for the number of car number 15. He has soared home in spectacular fashion. But what about a finish like that for the minor placings?
Absolutely amazing. And Georgia Davies, I thought she hesitated coming out of turn 4, Josh. She looked like she hesitated a little. If she had have just kept the foot down, I think she might have got past. She's probably wondering whether Jackson Buzan was going to lose it. Let's hear it for Matthew Thompson as he comes around. You can flash the lights, you can toot the horn, you can do what you like around there while the driver's running around with the checkered flag. Show him your appreciation as he comes down the back straight away. Let's hear it for Matthew Thompson. A great result for him. And the Collie Championships for the juniors, Josh, has gone off very, very well.
It's been a fantastic. We've obviously seen two of them, our top stars and our new stars, both of them epic races. And I think we're about to see a little bit of a celebration as he noses up the 15 car to the concrete wall in front of the crew. Matthew Thompson drops the clutch, gets a little bit of smoke. That's what we like to see. That's how you celebrate a feature race win. Matthew Thompson, take a bow as he smokes out the Make Smoking History Collie Speedway.
Oh, there you go.
And a little bit of reverse dollies. It just gets better and better. Matthew Thompson onto the infield as well. That is quite the celebration for Matthew Thompson.
We want the checkered flag back, Matthew.